minute if they are joining, and then we'll start. Okay, I'll just wait for a minute. Okay, guys. So yeah, very good morning once again. I hope all of you know me because I am your mentor from last semester, right? So I have talked with few of you like Anjali, Brinda, right? We have discussed few things, but for others, I'm sure you have at least heard my name, right? So yeah, that's one thing. Yes. Second, we'll be going through the subject of big data analytics, right? Okay. So before I start with the subject, is there any other thing that you want to ask? Is there anything that you want to ask? Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's start with the subject. Now the thing with this subject is it will be divided between two people. That is one with me and one Shailendra sir will be taking. Right. Now, as you know, that we have in total 4 theory hours and 2 practical hours. Right. So 2 hours I'll be taking, 2 hours of theory session sir will be taking. Okay, and we have also divided our practicals as such that sir will guide you through the practicals of data mining and I'll guide you through the practicals of big data, right? I hope you guys are already very familiar with big data because you are in big data branch, right? So you have like 2 subjects as of now which are very much related to big data. Okay, so yes, as I was telling, okay. So, what is there in this subject is that we are going to understand what basically in big data is. I know that many of you already know this, but still, as per our curriculum, we need to go through few basic parts, right? Now, as the name suggests, it is a combination of two things, which is big data analytics and mining, right? Logically, all these things are same or in the same process, right? But we are dividing it according to our convenience so that we can give our maximum to you guys, right? The course is designed for a section level investigation of data mining and big data analytics methods, right? So for this data mining, Shailendra sir will be taking, and for big data and analytics, I'll be taking this part, right? Big data is an extremely useful area in the era of computing techniques as it aids in finding useful pattern from large data sets, right? Large data sets are so huge that they cannot be processed with the traditional technologies. We require special computing system which can handle large data and tandem it with other important aspects like parallel processing, data failure, and data pre-processing. Okay, the fundamental speculations and scientific models of data mining are covered in this syllabus, right? So this was our objective for studying this subject, right? You know that we have course subject, we have course outcomes, that what you will get after learning this, it's called course outcome, right? After completion of this course, students will be able to gain understanding about data mining and big data techniques, right? And its tools, the tools that we are going to learn in our practical sessions. Then second part will be implementation of big data mining techniques using different software. So these tools and softwares are almost same, right? Then the third part, understand how data analytics and data mining maps to the current industry. What are the trends? What are the mining intelligence that is being used in industry as of now? So all these things will go through that part. Okay, and the last outcome after studying this syllabus is about understanding and implementing algorithms in an optimized way using the various big data tools, right? There will be a lot of algorithms when you go with data mining, right? So those things you will be learning in that part, and then you will be implementing it with big data tools, right? So for this chapter, you should have a prerequisite of data mining and big data essentials, but it's okay. It's okay if you don't know anything about data mining or data essentials, then it's also fine, right? We are going to cover each and everything. We'll have adequate time, and we'll try to cover as many points as possible, right? Just the small thing is that I want to convey that if you guys know certain topics, we can quickly complete it. I'm not saying that we can skip that part, but we can quickly complete it so that you guys can have more focus on the new things that will come on the way, right? So first thing, can all of you tell me, have you learned anything about data mining? Guys, have you learned about data mining? Okay, till now, but maybe any of the subject or maybe in general for just exploring purpose, have you learned anything about data mining?
Yes, sir. Sir, not practically, but I think we have did some topics on data mining in theory.
Okay, okay. So I'm assuming you guys have done it by your own, right? It's not from the curriculum.
I think it was in curriculum, but it's a small topic. Like we have more focus on the Hadoop and that stuff, that technology stuff.
Okay, okay. So you have also gone through few basic details about big data, right? Okay, good, good. So it will be, kind of easy, as well as it will be kind of, interesting, because you guys are already there in big data, you know, stream. So it's obvious that you guys should be knowing uh, everything about big data there is to know about, right? Okay, so it was there in curriculum, but just the introductory part. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, right? If any point, if you feel like, sir, we need more details about this topic, we can go in detail. No worries, right? Yes, introduction, fine, good, good, no worries. So we do have chapters which will take you in detail about this, right? So now, as you can see in your syllabus, your first four chapters is about big data, okay? Uh, Only first is in general. From second chapter, we'll be going in detail about Hadoop architecture only, right? Hadoop, input, output, map reduce, and ecosystem. Okay, and these are all the frameworks that can be used with Hadoop, right? So first four chapter I'll be teaching you with the practicals and all. Okay, from chapter 5, 6, and 7, Shailendra sir will be teaching, where it will start from what is data mining and what are the concepts, what are the algorithms that are being used, what is data cleansing, what is pre-processing, classification, prediction, and all. So I think many of these things already you have learned with machine learning or something, right? So don't worry. This subject will be, as much good as much you want to go in deep, right? So these are the two sections that we have divided for chapter 1 to 4 that I'll take. Chapter 5, 6, and 7 that will be taken by Shailendra sir, right? And yeah, the second part, just like chapters, we also have divided the list of practicals, right? So if you can see the first six practicals are related to our big data or Hadoop, right? And from chapter 7, all the practicals are related to data mining, right? So we have also divided our 7 practicals. Okay, first 6 I'll take, second 6 sir will take, right? Now the thing is, we me and sir will be going in parallel, right? So for example, sir has done practical 7 first, then in next week I'll be taking the practical 1 from this place, okay, like installation and usage of Hadoop. So don't get confused. Uh, Consider this one subject divided into two parts, right? First part is about Hadoop, second part is about data mining, and same way with the practicals, right? So if you feel at any place like getting confused or something, not understanding anything, then you can surely ask us. We'll surely help you, right? So yes, these are the chapter names that we'll be going through, right? And this is the scheme. End semester exam per 50 marks, mid-sem 30 marks, internal 20 marks. Yes, for this internal marks, we'll have in total 3 assignments, right? In total 3 assignments, where 2 assignments will be from big data part and 1 assignment from the data mining part, right? 3 assignments and 1 open-ended problem. Okay, so there will be 4 sections and each section will carry 5 marks, right? So 5 cross 4 will be 20. So 3 assignments and 1 open-ended problem. Okay, so we'll guide you through the process of assignment and all once we start with the chapters and syllabus and all those things, right? And at the end, you will have Viva with 25 marks and term work of 25 marks. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So term work will include mostly your lab practical file and all, right? So this is how all the things are divided. Okay. So any doubt or queries related to this part or until this point about the things that we have covered till now? Any doubts or queries? Yes, Anjali.
No, sir, no doubts.
Okay, okay, okay. Good. So all things are clear. We may start with the chapter 1. Okay, I'll just open the slide. Yeah. Meanwhile, how was your vacation? You guys had a vacation, right? Of about 1 week or 2 week.
10 days, sir.
10 days. Oh, good. You guys have also given all the exams, right? It's not like GTU people. I know that you guys know all the news and all, but poor did you guys have to still study and come to college and give exams and all. So in that case, you guys are lucky, right? Even your seniors who are in final year have to come to college for regular sessions, right? Guys who are in 8th semester have to come at college for regular sessions from today, right? So is it is it like that they are lucky, or you also want to come to college? Acha, okay, you are also tired. You want to come college, that means, right? Yes, we'll surely try to go normal as soon as possible, right? because even as a faculty, we guys are tired, like speaking in front of screen all the time and all. Most probably, yes, Anjali, most probably, because we are hoping that all things go normal as soon as possible. So we are trying, but I guess you will not be attending college. You have started with that internship of 1 month, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, I'll send you that form, sir, once that all formalities is done and, sir, once the date is confirmed.
Sure,
I'll
sure,
send
no
you
worries.
that letter, sir, to you and Madhuma.
Sure, sure, no worries. You can take your time, right? It's a
Uh,
good thing, right? You are exploring many areas. That's a good thing. You will learn many things, and
yes, sir.
I'll
Yes, sir. The internship is all about that big data storage management only, sir. It's related to big data only, sir.
oh, great, great. Then we'll share something if you learn new things,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir, definitely, sir.
Good, good. Yeah. So yeah, let's start with today's topic, which is a very basic, simple introduction about what big data is, right? What is big data? Now, before going to understand, what is big data, let's try to understand why there is such a buzz around big data, right? Why everyone is talking about so much of big data? Why, colleges like us have started a separate branch, right? Complete whole branch, because till now it was like only computer engineering, IT engineering, but we started our whole branch around big data. Why it was needed? So that type of thing, we'll try to learn first. So isn't big data just a big hype? Do you believe that big data is just a hype, or do you believe big data is the future? You know,
Sir, we can.
yes, yes, yes,
It is a
Shivam.
future, but we can say that that's the only option if we want to keep building new applications. Right? Yeah, there
Good,
are no
good.
other options to manage this large amount of data, I guess.
Yeah, sure, sure thing. Yes, good. So I I am happy to hear that you guys believe in that it's a future like thing, right? Because if you don't believe, then it will be my duty to make this thing that great that you guys can make it in future, right? Yes, because we are getting data, a lot of data increasing by time. Yes, that's also true, right? Yes. So at least you guys believe, or that why it isn't hype, or why we are going through this kind of even subject, or maybe a complete total branch. So uh, how big is big? If you guys can tell me how big is big in your big data, right? Do you believe how, or do you can estimate how big the big data can go up to? Is it like gigabytes or terabytes, or you know petabytes? Is it limited to that part?
I think so. It will be going up to zettabytes till 2025, and it can be big in terms of volume, velocity, veracity, and it would be mostly unstructured data, sir. And it will go up to zettabytes.
Wow, wow, you guys already know all the things what I'll teach you.
Yes, sir. We learned all this in fourth sem. Most of
Yeah.
the theory things we have learned in fourth sem.
Oh, great, great, great. So yes, good to hear that. Yeah, I'm happy actually to see you guys so well informed, right? Because it's like even in eighth semester, guys don't know what these things are going on, because when they are going for interview and they are not able to crack it, we have got a lot of feedback like, sir, we didn't knew this part, we didn't knew this part, right? So it's really actually good that you guys are well informed in this state only, right? Yeah, that's absolutely correct. How big is big? It can go up to zettabytes and even beyond that, because every day it's getting increased day by day, and the flow of data, like three V's that you talked about: volume, variety, and velocity. That's an important part when we go with the big data, right? Yeah, what is that we are really talking about? It's actually about big data, right? And the typical definition that's been given by a Forrester, he was one of the scientists in this field. Big data is the frontier of a firm's ability to store, process, and access, that is SPA, store, process, and access, all the data it needs to operate effectively, make decisions, reduce risks, and serve the customers. Right? This is typical bookish definition that that's boring. Right? For me, it's completely boring. I don't like this kind of things to even remember. For understanding, it's okay. I can just read out this thing and I can understand what they are trying to say. But there is no need to remember this kind of thing, right? Because you may be knowing in today's era, even if you are going for some exams, they will not ask you this kind of definition, like what is big data, write down, or just give a few words about big data, right? So they even think logically about the things we store, right? And measuring your remembrance power is not a quite correct way to judge your intelligence, right? Because for remembering things, we have created hard disk, and this big data works for remembering all this part, right? So it's completely fine if you don't remember this kind of bookish definition, right? I'll still give you marks, or if there is anyone else or any other exam, you'll still get the marks. Okay. Yeah, so this is boring. Second definition, which was by Gartner. Gartner, you guys may be knowing from many different areas, right? His is very well known. Yeah, big data in general is defined as high volume, velocity, and variety information, assets that demand cost-effective, innovative forms of information processing for enhanced insight and decision making, right? So for understanding, this is okay, but it's like I'll sleep if I go on like this, like I can snore. So third, O'Reilly, definition given by O'Reilly, right? It's a very huge publication, right? Many of your standard book comes from O'Reilly. So from there, it's being said that big data is the data that exceeds the processing capacity of conventional database system. The data is too big, moves too fast, or doesn't fit in strictures of your database architectures. To gain value for this data, you must choose an alternative way to process it. Yes, we'll do it, but it's still, too many words. We might not find this interesting, right? It's like just giving an information. You are not telling me what to do with big data. You are just giving me information. So what IBM said, right? Big data is the data characterized by three attributes: volume, variety, and velocity. Still repeating the same task, still repeating the same three V's, right? So I'm just ignoring this random words. Big data is the data characterized by four key attributes. Oh, now one more, that is volume, variety, velocity, and value, right? So it's been given by Oracle, but still it doesn't interest me. So I'm just saying this buzzword. Don't worry about this. Yeah, it's like headache. Like all these people are just saying that there is huge data, huge data, huge data. What huge data, right? We are not in a process of just assuming what is huge data. Okay, now let's try to look at this big data, or how huge this data is. Okay, uh, do you remember what was the first computer that made in the industrial space, or what was your even personal first computer? Maybe this historical computer, that's fine if you don't know, but do you remember your first computer or your first computing system? Right, it may be some desktop, old desktop or something. or you guys were fortunate enough to directly buy an i5 i7 laptop? Yes, guys, what was your first computer system?
Yes, sir. It was not long ago, but when I was in 8th or 10th, we are having computers which has the maximum 2 GB RAM. And at
Two,
that time,
2 GB.
yeah,
Okay,
and
and
at that time, the internet speed was also in, like, if you have the internet speed of 512 kbps, okay, the
yes,
download speed you get
kbps.
like 50 kbps. That's
Yeah, and
also
then
a cool thing, like you can download songs and all that.
which processor was it?
I don't exactly remember, but it was Core 2 Duo.
Acha, Core 2 Duo, right? Still, you are quite advanced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before that,
2
there were
GB
also
RAM
many.
is enough, yeah. Because see, I have personally been, using systems which had 128 megabyte of RAM,
Oh,
128 MB of RAM, which is, nowadays you don't even get a pen drive of that size. Even floppy drives have, more storage area nowadays. It's like very very initial period of my from this computing industry. 128 bit RAM. We had an Celeron processor. It's too old. Celeron processor, 128-bit RAM. Yeah, and we had a dial-up connection because at that time only BSNL was providing the internet. So as you said,
yes.
it was giving some 512 kbps, but I was a bit staying in bit remote area. So for me, it was not even going beyond 300 kbps or 250 kbps. So I have to wait, like once I click for Yahoo Mail, I'll be waiting for 5 minutes, and then, oh, now I got the mail. So it was literally like that thing. And it was still fun, right? Yeah, using internet was still fun, right? Yes, so that was my first computer. Okay. Yeah, so now historically, first computer was said to be with ENIAC, right? It was something like a mechanical calculator, right? And it was very similar to this, where you just need to give the code for the system to process, and then it will give you an output in printed form, right? They had this punch cards, and they will give you printed form outputs. And there were many things in history, but it's okay, we don't want to go that much in detail, right? Right, they had a limitation of uh, I think 4 megabytes or 8 megabytes, I'm not sure, but something around that they had. Okay. What was its big data limit? Like, what was its big data limit? Like, what is the limit till you can drag this big data? So there are few memes that I'm sharing. There is one guy who's tweeting things in the name of DevOps Borat. It's quite old, right? You can see the date, it's of 2013. So just take it in light manner. Don't take this, too seriously. Small data is when it fits in RAM. Big data is when it crashes because it does not fit in RAM, right? So you can say a data is big enough if it does not fit RAM, but this RAM should fit in our pockets, right? We cannot say that we want to purchase a 64 gigabits or 128 gigabits of RAM, because it will be like 25, 30,000 of pocket heavy. Okay, so these are just memes. Don't take it literally. Okay, let's try again. Now I'm going through data wise that how this big data is extending its reach. First, starting with the byte, you know that byte is an 8-bit, right? 8-bit will be something like a one grain of rice. Like, this is one small grain of rice, which is byte. Now, when I say kilobyte, it's a cup of rice. It's like 1,000 bytes, right? There are 1,000 rice pieces in this bowl. Okay. When I go with megabyte, it says me 8 bags of rice. right? Megabytes, which is like 10,000 times, sorry, 1 lakh times, sorry, even 10 lakh times, right? 10 raised to 6, it's 10 lakh times. These are 8 bags of rice, megabyte. Gigabyte 10 raised to 9, which is like 3 semi trucks loaded, right? Loaded, complete 3 semi trucks loaded of rice. You can imagine now that's what gigabyte is. It's still huge, right? Then if I let's see, next one is, oops, something went wrong. Just a minute, guys. I think something stopped me. Just a minute, guys. I'm getting back. Yeah, it's working now. Is it visible now, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
It's visible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, if I talk about terabytes, you can compare it with 2 container ships. Now you can see that what's the size of container and what's the size of ship, right? That's like a two huge container ships of rice. Now, even if I go beyond terabyte, we have petabytes, 10 raised to 15, right? This petabytes will cover up the whole Manhattan Island, right? It's an area in US, and it will cover the whole area, right? That's what an petabyte size of rice will do, right? Now, even if I go beyond that part, it's like exabyte, okay? Exabyte, which blankets the whole west coast region of US, like this you can see on the left hand side, it's the whole west coast that will be covered with exabyte number of rice if you take them, okay? And even if you go beyond exabyte, there is zettabyte, right? Like someone I think Brinda was telling, right? The zettabytes thing we will be calculating, which will fill up the whole Pacific Ocean, right? It will fill up, right? You can imagine now it will fill the Pacific Ocean. It's a too huge area, Pacific Ocean. Okay, so that's what an zettabyte is. It's very huge. And even if you go beyond that, that is a yottabyte, right? Yottabyte, it's like a earth size of rice ball, so it will cover the whole earth. Okay, so this huge things are there, right? Now I know that you guys already know what is zettabyte, which is like 10 raised to 18 or something. But do you know what is yottabyte? How much is the yottabyte? 2 to the power, or maybe uh, 10 to the power, if anyone knows. Yottabyte, it's like 2 to the power of 80, guys. It's too huge. 2 raised to 80 is too huge, right? Or if you tell 10 to the power of 24, right? 10 to the power of 24. Now you can imagine there are 24 number of zeros after 10. So how huge this thing becomes. Okay. Now let's try to understand which section can be handled by what kind of system. For example, a byte system and kilobyte system can be handled by a hobbyist, right? So the systems in our previous days were able to handle, allocate, modify, and update and do all this task up to kilobyte of data, right? Then we moved to a more profound way. Using our desktops, we can go to megabytes or gigabytes, sorry, right? So with our desktop, we started having 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, which can process data in form of gigabytes, right? Now, with terabytes and petabytes size of data, only internet is capable of transferring or handling this much of volume, velocity, and all those things. You can imagine now that how much of our data is being handled with internet, right? Then if I go with exabyte and zettabyte, that will be covered with the big data, right? 10 raised to 15, 16, 17, and up to 18, we can cover under big data. Okay, all these things are very quite a small, and this is quite a huge. So if you go for processing data of gigabytes using big data, then it will be like using a tank to kill a mosquito, right? So usually we'll have our big data when in terms of exabyte and zettabyte processing, then only it will be more useful. But don't have high hopes, because in practicals we'll have gigabytes only, because we know that for certain limitation, like if you are studying from home, you need to first download that data and then you have to process that data, right? So it will be more practical to go for gigabyte as of now. Then maybe in your free time you can go with terabyte, right? Because I know that your hard disk capacity may be up to 2 terabytes or maybe 3 terabytes maximum. Or does anyone have a system which has higher capacity than 3 terabytes? Does anyone have that? Do you guys have that kind of system which can handle more than 3 terabytes of data? Yes.
No, sir. For now, no.
Not as of now, right? Even I don't have, so don't worry. So for practical purpose, we will usually use this megabyte or gigabyte kind of data. Don't worry, right? But the actual usage of big data will be in this range, right? I just wanted to get focus over here. That will be going through this part, but its actual focus was in this range, right? So yeah, that's about this big data and the size. Okay, and what are the platforms that provides or that calculates the data in this range? We all know the huge giants of our internet like Facebook, Yahoo, Amazon, eBay, Google. All of these huge companies have their data in these ranges of exabyte and zettabytes. So we'll try to process few of the free data that have been provided through this free platforms from Google or Facebook, right? There are certain free platforms. In data mining, you will learn that from where to get authenticate data, and how you can use this data in different forms. Even in our Hadoop system, we'll try to convert data in one form to another, and we'll see how those things can work out, right? So yes, this subject is going to be very interesting. Okay, and yottabyte will be the future for sure, right? It's the future for sure. Okay, yeah. Utah, it's a name of a place. Governor of Utah Hubbard on June 11, 2012. So you can imagine it's like 9 years old statement told that the annual meeting of National Governors Association, that the NSA's, that is National Security Agency of USA, has almost like 1.5 billion square foot data center being built outside the Salt Lake City, that will be first facility to house a yottabyte of data, right? So they actually, it's already done, right? They already have this area where they can store the yottabyte of data. If you are interested in knowing about this, you can search this on internet, write down at some place, maybe make a note of something, a place where yottabyte of data can be stored, so you can get to know more about that part by your own, right? Yeah. Yeah, big data is not about the size of data. It's about the value within the data, means how much important that data is, right? Because if you go on mining, or if you go on doing analysis about useless data, then it's of no meaning, right? At the end, will not get any result. Okay. So yes, this is a true question. Like whatever you get as a data, what's its value, right? What should be its value? So that is one important question we'll try to answer at the end of every chapter, every fourth chapter. Like what's the value of the things that we learned? What's the value of that we things that we have known, right? Sorry. Yeah. Is it about just the market intelligence, or is it about business intelligence, or is it about secret intelligence, or something new that you find out from the data? Is it about that, right? So it's like dependent on what kind of data we are doing, right, and what kind of process we are doing on that data, right? So that's all that we'll be going through in this chapter. Our society is living behind a digital footprint, as all of us here are using internet, we are using different web services, we are using different applications, right? So it's obviously that we are leaving behind a digital footprint that will store all the tasks that we have done over the internet, right? People are living online, and we all are expressing our attitudes, likes, dislikes, our opinions and perspectives, right? Maybe it's just a simple Facebook post. Based on that, we are bifurcating people with likes, dislikes, opinions, or the comments that they make, right? With even Twitter, you guys know that sentiment analysis kind of projects are being done, where if the tweet is so in negative way that people are downvoting it and having a hate speech, right? So at that time, this kind of mechanism can be very very helpful. And we have so many people online with different platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all these things, right? Like almost more than half of world is already online, right? So we are generating huge amounts of data every day, now and then. If you are just even simply typing some message in WhatsApp, so that's also one kind of data generation for our net, right? You might have already heard the news about new WhatsApp update, right? Do you guys know why it's too much in debate nowadays, that it's like breaching your privacy and all? I hope you guys at least use the WhatsApp.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So do you know its update has created some controversy?
Yes, sir. Actually, Facebook has said that they will use our data, our WhatsApp data, to show ads in Facebook and Instagram and other platforms.
Yes.
But
Yes.
they have taken
Exactly.
it out just 2 or 3 days ago.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Right. And if I'm not wrong, maybe yesterday or day before yesterday, WhatsApp has put an status in on all of our accounts, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. They were saying that um, that we respect your privacy and will not give the data to anyone. Have you seen that status of WhatsApp?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, Nimit, right? All of you have seen that, yes. Now, they say that your chats are being encrypted and then sent. Right? In that update, they also said that chats are being encrypted and then sent to the end-to-end user. Now, if you are connected to news, just 2 days before, the WhatsApp chat of Arnab Goswami was linked, right? So, do you guys remember that
Yes,
on the
sir.
yes,
news?
Yes.
sir.
Yes, right. So if you are sending encrypted chats for end-to-end user, then how can you believe that someone's chat being leaked? Right? it's very hard to believe these things. Okay, so
Sir,
it's just
sir,
yes.
it also can be possible that Arnab Goswami phone has been hacked by someone hacker. So he took the screenshot of his chat and then shared to the media. So it can also be possible. Actually.
Yeah, that's also possible. I'm not denying the possibility, but just imagine, right? If your end-to-end encryption is also, not that powerful, and if someone is able to, like this companies who already have built their own algorithm, they obviously are capable of, reversing the algorithm or decrypting the messages in that, right? uh, we cannot deny that possibility, right? I'm not saying that they will do it, but we cannot deny possibility that they might decrypt it. Okay, so it's like it's even whatsoever the WhatsApp says, we are still in that part where our data can be leaked out to any place, right? So be careful what things you share over WhatsApp or maybe Facebook or something, right? I know it's too early to say it is completely protected or it is completely, unprotected, but it's somewhere in between. It's not completely protected, even it's not completely not protected. So it's somewhere in between. It's us, people like us, the users have to, make sure that what kind of data we are sharing, and we make sure that not import, we do not by mistake share the important data, right? You can share the account numbers, IFSC code, but it's obvious that you don't share the password. Or maybe sometimes I have seen people who are sharing, their credit card pins with their wives or maybe their relatives or something, right? It's like you are friends, you all are friends from last 3 years, and someone is having a credit card, and let's say there is a very good sale in this 25-26 January. Amazon and Flipkart have already started advertising, right? So one of you ask other friend, like Brinda asked Anjali that please give me your credit card, I want to buy this because it's very cheap in this sale. So Anjali is actually at some other place, right? And then she physically cannot give, but what she will do, she will type out the message like all the 16-digit number of her card, the CVV number which is at the back of card, and she will give the pin, right? Even though she will get OTP for once, right? Then transaction, then only it can happen. But once you shared this detail, how hard it will be for me to get the details of that credit card, means the past bills, or what kind of transactions that has been done. All these things becomes very easy when you have one set of data, right? OTP is required for the transaction only, right? But if you have the card number, you can have at least the past bills, right? So there are number of loopholes in the system, that can be broken, and there are number of ways which tells, what things can be done and what things cannot be done, right? Right, Brinda? So if you want credit card details, what you can do is, as of now, just from my side, I'm not saying for that only, make a call, okay? And don't make a digital call from WhatsApp. Make a regular phone call and type the data in that instant only, right? So it's little bit, little bit protected compared to others, right? But I am, I'm having this dilemma because as you guys may be knowing that very soon we are going to have 5G technology, right? And in 5G technology, all your communication will be going to happen in digital format, right? There'll be no signals from analog manner. So I'm afraid that maybe in fifth generation they will be even able to hear what you are telling in your regular calls. Okay, so just look out what you guys are sharing now on. Yeah. Yes. So yes, we are generating huge amounts of data. Yes, few more things. Data is with a lot of information we already know, and a lot of noise, right? If I typically want to define what is noise, noise is anything which is not required, even if it is relevant or not. But if I don't require it, then it becomes noise, right? So whatever non-required things are, it becomes noise. Okay, the ability to hear the signal from the noise is the key, right? Means if you are able to bifurcate the required data and the non-required data, then we'll have a proper mechanism for getting the information that we want, right? To unlocking the human conversation that is taking place around us. Okay? Listening to the conversation can lead us to unexpected discoveries, right? There are okay. Before starting this case study, how many of you watches web series? I am expecting all of you are watching one or other web series, not TV series.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yes, everyone. Yeah, obviously, right? Even I watch, right? So maybe many of you are using Amazon, maybe many of you are using Netflix, and there are number of platforms nowadays which helps you to get this content online, right? So there is one. Uh, yes, Keshav, you want to ask anything, or you wanted to just affirm that you do also watch the web series? Yes, Keshav, anything? Okay, yeah, good. So even I watch. I'm telling, right?
Sir,
Yeah.
we are
So this,
watching from
yes.
Coursera, neural network series is.
अच्छा.
Yes.
अरे તમે તો યાર બધા you guys are very advanced web series watchers, is it
Yes,
so?
sir, yes, sir.
Okay, good. Still good. Um, if I tell you something personal, don't take it too too heavily. I have seen few of the Coursera courses. It's good to start with, but don't stick around it if you want to learn something very deep, right? Because many of the courses are very like initial phases or just the starting phases, right? So if you want to learn something in deep, go beyond Coursera. There are a number of other platforms. Even if you search some content on YouTube, you will surely get some good videos, right? Yeah, that's a different topic altogether. Yeah. So going back to our topic, which is about one case study, right? We all know what is Netflix, right? It's an online content delivery based website which gives you different web series, movies, and whatnot, right? So
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, in this sem, we don't have any Coursera certificate completion, no, sir, for any subject.
I cannot tell you about all the subjects, but for our subject, will not insist, right? Because I know like what they are going to tell you in an introduction to big data. You guys might have already done it, or maybe in this big data storage, they might ask you for this certification, introduction to big data. It's not compulsory for at least my subject, right? So if you want to go, you can go it by yourself, but at least not for my subject. For other subject, as soon as the faculty comes up with the lecture, they will tell you. Just like in starting of this lecture, I told you that instead of all these things, we'll have 3 to 4 assignments, one open-ended problem, right? And other things will try to cover all these things in lecture. Just like in this slides, I'm trying to cover, all the informal things also with the topics, right? So that it can be a little bit interesting. We are not going to stick strictly to the syllabus. We'll explore all the areas, right? Because it's kind of a, test or test and trial and test or something. If you guys are okay with all the topics like this, we'll go on like this only. It would be great if we could focus on practicals more in this sem than any other courses, because we already did so. Yeah, that's correct, Brinda. That's why I'm not going to give you a typical lecture about typical topic. Well, try to cover as many different topics in theory as well as practical. So I'll even talk more about practicals in theory part also, right? Like where these concepts can be used, how these concepts are bifurcated and all. So surely, if you want, I don't mind, right? If you want Coursera or something, then you can do it by yourself, but it's not compulsory according to me. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good, good. Okay. Getting back to topic, yes. I hope you have at least heard the name of this series, which is called House of Cards, right? Uh, Maybe some of you have already seen it. It's a very interesting series. It's about the politics that takes place in the White House, right? This guy is actually the main character. I forgot his name because I have seen it very very long ago. So yeah, it's a very mind blowing series of how political turns can be taken, right? And uh, House of Cards is one of the first major test cases of this big data driven creative strategy. For almost a year, Netflix executives have told us that their detailed knowledge of Netflix subscriber viewing preferences clinched their decision to license a remake of popular and critically well regarded 1990 BBC miniseries, right? Netflix data indicated that the same subscribers who loved the original BBC production also gobbled down movies starring Kevin Spacey or directed by David Fincher, right? Therefore, concluded Netflix executives, a remake of BBC drama with the Spacey and Fincher attached was no-brainer, to the point that company committed 100 million for two 13-episode seasons, right? So in you can just imagine with this information, right? They basically are trying to say that in 1990s there was a mini series which was watched by too many peoples and liked by too many peoples, where the combination was of the actor Kevin Spacey and director David Fincher, right? So they found out like this duo or this combination of actor and director is very much loved by the people, right? And with this information, they created this House of Cards, and with only two seasons, right? You can imagine with only two seasons of 13 episode, they gained over 100 million, right? 100 million is too huge of money, right? So this is one of the case study with Netflix. And after this, they have or they implemented this kind of task with even Indian web series, right? You know about Sacred Games and all these things. So it's obviously that they have done all the type of research. Not only Netflix, even Amazon has done it, even Disney Plus Hotstar has done it, right? So there are number of series which are coming. Some may be new, just to introduce the public some new concept. Other may be like tried and tested kind of chemical reaction that this actor, this director works well. This actress and this genre of comedy or maybe like suspense or something, all these things work too much perfectly with each other, right? So that's one of the case study with Netflix. Did it work? Yes, obviously 100 million is very huge amount. There are certain tweets at that time which were uh, telling about House of Cards, the real history behind politics of House of Cards, and I don't know what to do myself now, right? So all these things are already there. Okay, guys, let's keep till this point because it's almost the time now. Okay, do one thing, write down your enrollment numbers in, okay, but I think all of you are present, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, yeah, all seven are present. So I'll mark the attendance. No need to write down anything. Yeah. So if you have any questions till now, then you can ask me. And we are done with this, case study. Then in next lecture, we'll go ahead with the next topic. Okay? So if you have any doubts or queries, you can write down in the chat box. Okay, so I'm assuming you guys are clear with all the things that we have covered till now, right? So yeah, guys, we'll keep till this point. Have a nice day. See you guys soon and take care and stay safe. You can disconnect from the meeting now, guys. We are done for today's session.